So good day everyone. Today I will be discussing the two important topics, which is the whistleblowing in green computing. Since as per Sir Mancinero said, we don't have a time, so this topic will be recorded. So let's start. So for the topic outline, so we have the introduction to whistleblowing. Then for here I will define the term and show why it is important today. Then for the next is the four major steps in dealing with whistleblowing. So this step helps individual know what to do if they witness wrongdoing. So for the next is case example and lesson. So I will share a real case to help you see how whistleblowing works in real life. The next is introduction to green computing. So this part will explain what environmentally friendly technology use means. The next is e-waste and environmental risk. So we will look at how electronic waste affects people in nature. And for the last topic outline is the law and tools in industry practices. So for next, so in the next slide, so this is our objectives. So for our objectives, at the end of this discussion, we should be able to define whistleblowing in green computing, explain the four major steps in whistleblowing, then understand the risks faced by whistleblowers, then explain the goals of green computing, and lastly, identify the laws and tools that protect the environment. So next. So the first topic that I will be discussing is the whistleblowing. But this topic is covered by my group mates, Mr. Dayo. So I will be discussing the four major steps that included in the eight major steps of dealing with whistleblowing. So as for what I said, since this is for Mr. Dayo, so I will just make it short to discuss. So what is whistleblowing? So whistleblowing is the act of informing authorities or responsible individuals about illegal, unethical, and harmful activities. So it happening inside an organization. It usually happens when a person has already tried reporting the issue inside the company, but nothing changed. So this means whistleblowing is often the last resort when internal system fail. So next. So this is the importance of whistleblowing. So promote transparency and honesty. So whistleblowing helps make sure organization operates openly and truthfully. So for the next one is prevents harm to public. So many violations such as unsafe products or corruption can harm people if not exposed. So next is exposes corruption, fraud, and unsafe practices. So whistleblowers shine light on action that breaks law or endanger others. And lastly is encourage ethical behavior. So when employees know wrongdoing can be reported, they are more likely to follow proper rules. Next, dealing with a whistleblowing situation. So this is the just a 4 and 8 major steps in how to deal with a whistleblowing situation. So my 4 steps is the assist the application, the use experience resources, execute the action plan, and live with the consequences. So I will explain it furthermore in the next slide. So for the assist the application, so before speaking out, a person needs to evaluate the risk. So reporting wrongdoing is not a simple decision. So it may affect their job, finances, and even personal safety. So this step ensure the whistleblower is aware of both the benefits and the possible negative outcomes. So next, so this is the risk in consider and assess the implication. So the risks include career setbacks, financial burden due to legal processes, and emotional pressure. So these risks highlight how difficult it is to come forward, which is why whistleblower needs to be fully prepared. So next, use experienced resources. So when consulting experience whistleblowing, lawyer is essential. They know the specific law, protection, and procedures needed. So this steps helps prevent mistakes that could worsen the situation. So next, so for the role of legal counsel, so the lawyer is important because they can identify specific laws that protect the whistleblower. So next is check the deadlines for filing complaints, then review documents to ensure the evidence is valid and safe to use. Then estimate the possible legal costs to prepare financially. Then lastly, explain all risks and potential consumed so the whistleblower fully understand the consequences. So for the next topic is execute plan. So this step involves carefully following the plan made with the lawyer. Every action must follow the law and every document must be accurate. A mistake here can weaken the report or create additional risk. So for anonymous versus legal disclosure, so anonymous disclosure, this protects their identity but the report might not be taken seriously or fully investigated. So for legal disclosure, this is more formal and often leads to better result, but the whistleblower's identity is usually known. Next. So proper reporting channels. Whistleblower must report to proper authorities like government agencies that regulate industries, law enforcement who can investigate crimes, ethics committees inside the organization, and lastly, oversight bodies that monitor misconduct using the correct channel increases the chances of action. So next, so for the live with the consequences, even with the legal protection, whistleblower may still experience retaliation, such as being discredited, transferred, demoted, or even fired. They also need emotional support because the process can be stressful, isolating, and overwhelming. So for the next slide is long-term effects on the whistleblower. So the long-term effects vary. Some whistleblowers face financial difficulties and stress for years. Others develop resilience or even gain recognition if their actions lead to positive change. However, the social and emotional impact can last longer after the event. So next. So this is the case example and the TJX data breach. So in this case, an employee reported security weaknesses internally and online, but company ignored him after a major data breach happened. He was blamed and fired for allegedly violating confidentiality. So this example shows how important it is to follow legal channels to avoid being punished by improper reporting. So, so for next topic is the green computing. So what is green computing? So green computing promotes environmentally responsible use for technology. So it covers the design of the devices, energy consumption, and what happens to electronics once they are no longer used. So the goal of green computing is to minimize environmental damage throughout the life cycle of a product. So for the hardest materials used in electronics, so electronics contain dangerous material like what you can see in this slide. So the first is mercury, cadmium, and lead. So these toxic substances can leak into soil water if not disposed properly. They can also harm workers who can handle material without protection. Next is who is at risk. So the main groups at risk include the manufacturing workers, were they exposed to chemical during production. Then the next is recycling workers. So they often dismantle electronics manually, so they are also in the risk. So next is consumers, where they are exposed if devices break or leak. So for the next one or the last one is the communities near where sites. So toxic chemical can contaminate air, soil, and water. So for the three main goals of green computing, so the goals are to reduce the hazardous materials to keep people safe, then to lower energy use to reduce carbon emission and electricity costs. So it can also ensure safety recycling and disposal to electronics do not damage the environment. Next is what is e-waste or electronic waste? So e-waste refers to discarded electronics such as old computers, phones, and printers. Because the technology becomes outdated quickly, e-waste grows faster than almost any other type of waste worldwide. So next is problem in e-waste disposal. So improper disposal causes several issues. So first is toxic chemicals leak into natural environment. Second is burning electronics releases harmful smoke or harmful gases. Workers in informal recycling center often handle toxic material without safety. Then this problem harm both people and ecosystem. So next is exporting of e-waste. So many developed countries ship their e-waste to developing nations. So these countries often lack strict environmental laws, so workers, including children in some places, dismantle electronics in unsafe condition. So next is EPIT or green electronic tools. So EPIT or the green electronic tools help buyers choose environmentally friendly products by rating electronic based on factors like energy efficiency, recyclable materials, and reduce toxins. So for EPIT rating levels, so the rating includes bronze, which is meets the minimum standards, followed by the silver, meets required standard plus at least half of optional criteria. Then lastly, the gold, which is meets required standard plus most optional criteria, making it in the highest eco-friendly rating. Next is environmental laws. So some important laws include ROHS Directive EU. So it restricts toxic chemical and electronics. Then the next one is California Electronic Waste Recycling Act. So it requires proper collection and recycling of e-waste. So this law helps reduce environmental and health hazards. So next is for the industry example. These two companies demonstrate strong environmental responsibility. So the first is Apple. So it removes harmful material from products and uses recyclable materials like aluminum in glass. So the next one is Lenovo. So it incorporates recycled plastic and reduces carbon emission, earning several EPIT Gold ratings. So lastly, for the summary. So in summary, the whistleblowing protects society by revealing wrongdoing, but it involves significant risks. So green computing protects the environment through responsible technology, design, use, and disposal, but both topics emphasize the importance of ethics, sustainability, and accountability. So for my last slide, so this is the reference, show the sources used in creating the presentation. That's all, thank you.